Is it your thoughts? What goes on up here? Or does it belong to someone else? You know something I've discovered in life, and I'm sure we have, like, if you look at your cell phone, you look at electronics, you look at a TV, we kind of take all these things for granted, but all these things were made with basics, right? And we live on the basis of basics. You would call it basic mathematics, basic physics. There's spiritual physics at work, basic laws. And what I mean by basics is foundational. It is so foundational that it cannot be moved, right? And whenever you are, and that's just it, whenever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're existing as in that moment or over a time frame, you're experiencing, because you can't say you're not. And whatever given state you are, that also applies to even for electronics to work. They have to have every component has to have a specific state, right? As it's planted, right, within that massive circuit board. And the way the massivity of everything even goes beyond the Earth, the atmosphere, the hemisphere, way out there into the cosmos. It all is in a state. You know, you have all the planets that go around the sun in a specific manner, a specific distances, because they're all operational under specific governing factors. They don't break out from it. Neither do we. The one thing in our lives, in generality, we are more connected to everything around us. And what I mean by that, everything that's familiar. Someone someone could be born into a specific situation, a state in their life, and they will carry through that state. If let's say, for instance, a person born in poverty, they will learn certain principles, certain basics that will keep them that way, right? Unless that's where it says when Newton, I think it's Newton's law about the one force enacting upon another will change it, and everything that stays at rest remains at rest. The most beautiful thing about you as a human being, although you gad about with your two legs, or some people don't, but whatever state that you're moving, your movement in life, you're moving with things attached to you, right? Getting back to asking, is it your thoughts? Or, you know, I've discovered this, and it took me a while to kind of really see it. That people, they've even shown us too. People, they've set people as experiments to a group of people in one mind to focus on something, a plant, or even other stuff, and they actually had results. And they use measuring equipment the same way they measure electrons. And by the way, you should go and in one of my other videos, I kind of went a little more into that, about the double slit theory, right? We are in a constant state, especially with our thoughts. You can't see thoughts, but it's there. It is so real as what you see, as what you touch. You can even touch your thoughts. You touch it because with emotions, because it is so uh it has such a large level of influence on you that you can touch it if you knew how to. And what thoughts will do, how you know how that about thoughts influence you, it will influence your actions. Now, people who don't, and by the way, raw thoughts are very raw. They're very raw. This is it, man. It's like someone cutting you open. This is raw. They don't. It's not all nicely packaged and whatever. It's raw. This is it, right? And because it's so raw, it has the power to manifest specific attunements, the directional, how can I put it, a specifics, an accuracy is able to manifest an accuracy based upon you allowing the consistency of it, right? Now this works in all different areas, right? Some people have learned that they can actually, yeah, okay, so if this is so, that means my thoughts can actually change my life. You better believe it 100%. Now, getting back about your thoughts and whether it's your own, if you have, I'm going to say, if people will have certain abilities in their life, and the people who are more aggressive than you will guaranteed touch your life through their thoughts. They could be blocks away, whatever. If you find yourself ruminating a little too much over somebody, I guarantee they're thinking about you. Getting back to basics. It's a connection. These are laws at work, right? And it's electricity. Your thoughts are electricity. They've even proven this, man. The brain waves are measured by electricity. The heart must be pumped and brought back if it starts to die from electricity. Go run on a carpet for a few times here and touch something. You get static electricity. You are electricity, whether you see it or not. So every part of you, boom, boom, boom. You are on a voltage. You are on a voltage. You may have a new number to your voltage. There's low voltage people and there's high voltage people, right? Your thoughts do determine your voltage, by the way. Now, the way to overcome thoughts or thoughts that are actually ruminating, you have to, first of all, be very aware what is from you and what is from someone else. Now, when you know it's from someone else, that you have a right, this is where your voice comes in. See, because God created everything through his voice and we're made in his image, we're also able to speak. And so it became. Speak up to the person. If you find yourself ruminating too much about somebody, or you find they are occupying, or things that they would be thinking about is occupying your thoughts, get alone and start speak to them. Get off my thoughts. And you speak to them however you think you need. Well, don't use curse words and all that stuff, but speak to them because your voice starts to send communication the same way they're sending communication through their thoughts to yours, right? Your brain is like one massive control tower, just like a plane landing on a airstrip, right? On the air. They call it the air. The thoughts are the air. It's the air Wi-Fi. No wonder. I mean, you think they just it came up with this stuff when they were able to develop Wi-Fi and wireless technology? They studied the brain, man. This stuff they don't come out this stuff on. No, these people put in heavy duty research into the stuff. That's why it works. That's why you work. You're constantly in a workable fact. It depends what your thoughts are. That's why the Bible says meditate. And our word meditate is going to a deep level, right? And I'm talking about planting your feet like these yogis do, or I'm going to go into a deep and I'm going to make my thoughts be totally nothing. That's Buddha. He taught you how to go into bliss so you can become a this. Right? Really? Do you know the end all of Buddhism is to what? To get you become thoughtless. That you be melded into the one consciousness. Well, you know, that's a lot of nonsense. It basically means that you get to lose yourself in some demon's world. God didn't call you to be existent less. He called you to be existent. Exist, man. Exist. Be aware. Be aware. Well, here's what the Bible says: meditate on those things. See, this is something on those things that are lovely, that are good, that are pure, that are noble, right? And I think there's a few other faithfulness, all these good things that are good quality stuff. Meditate on these things. And he says, on a good report, right? Your thoughts also matters that when you're watching TV, and the scripts are written or people are talking on the TV there, whether it's news you're watching, whatever, you are experiencing their thoughts as they send it through the media. Medium. That's what the word media means. Medium. It's the line, the Wi-Fi, man, the earless communication. And all you're doing consistently, you're attaching yourself to an SSID, which is a Wi-Fi name. And someone got to do is get the right code, boom, and they have access to you. And that's nothing but thoughts. Be very aware when people are tapping in, because some people have learned to do this. Some people may not even know how they are able to do it, but they have the ability to tap in. One surefire way to know when people are tapping in to your thoughts and tapping into your thoughts, the control center, which begins to activate control through the rest of your being, is this one main thing. And what is it? I lost my thoughts. Well, but the things that one surefire way you know to tap in, okay, is because you will experience a little bit too much attention being shown to you. Unhealthy attention. When you are being compromised with with everything that's going on with you, and especially this control center, you will experience attention being given to you, and some of it's unwanted. Actually, a lot of it. When you experience unwanted attention, I guarantee they're trying to access one of the main areas of your life, which also affects your soul, that affects your spirit. You see, God calls us, but it takes a time for us to learn to live from the inside out, right? The majority of the times, how people have to work because they would become super spiritually powerful if they were to do it through the spirit. So they do it from the outside coming in, right? One way or another through the access. They got to get in through your thoughts. Another way is through your ears, right? Through your eyes, right? And lo and behold, through your mouth. You know, the Bible says that do not associate with those who are given to themselves and those have an envious eye and those who are basically, you know them. He says, don't be given to them. If they give you their food, don't even eat it, for you'll vomit it up later. And he's talking about basically you go to a wasteful state, you'll get sick. Whether it be the soul sickness, spiritual sickness, he says, because they're not with you. They're not with you. They're not for you. How to know that you are actually being accessed is because of what's going on in here. And you know what happens with this here? This is the another part, but very intrinsic, very accurate, that you experience as an awareness. That's your feelings. Anything when I say anything, I mean, if you do a bad thing, you're supposed to feel bad. That's your conscience and your thoughts getting into it to play. You got to come clean, right? Hey, look, I did wrong. Bang, right? Okay. But if you find that you're experiencing a lot going on up here and you start to access your feelings, that is where you start to really experience the mud factor. Your sensors are going off. That what's going on with your life needs to be addressed now. It means it needs to be paid attention to. It means that you have to take some measures to deal with your feelings that's speaking to you. So I'm just going to leave you to this. I probably didn't go in as depth as I'd like to about some of this. Experientially, you live long enough, you'll know it's very real. Your thoughts are not to ever, 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 ever be ignored or downplayed. I like what some guy said years ago, and I thought, man, it's not the truth. He says, thoughts are things. I repeat, thoughts are things. You can't take it lightly. It's very substance. It's real. So you have a good day. Do like and subscribe, and don't let don't let what's maybe accessing here say, well, this is mine. No, it's not your thoughts. It could actually come from so many other places you may not even realize. Pay attention. Have a good day.